Hi everybody, it's Lizzie. I just wanted to make this video right now because I just got a very important download, you could say, about the difference between like making yourself do something, whatever it is, work, exercise, eating, hanging out with somebody, like whatever the action is, like forcing yourself to do something versus what actually feels right to you, like whatever guided action you're getting, whatever your intuition is telling you, whatever feels good to you to do. And the importance of knowing which is which, and then eventually more and more taking the more intuitive route versus the mental or force route. It's kind of like David Hawkins' book, Power versus Force. So, how to learn to use and start using power, like your empowerment, rather than forcing yourself to do stuff. This morning, I woke up and was feeling very stressed out and very upset about. Ooh, sorry, got a little buggy on me. Not really sure what I was going to be doing with my day, and I just felt like very confused about what I was supposed to be doing, whatever that supposed to be was. And I started doing a few different things and was just feeling really like unhappy and stressed out, and was even like, getting emotional about it. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and do some yoga. And so I did a few minutes of yoga, and all of a sudden I realized I didn't want to be doing yoga. And a vision of biking, riding my bike, kind of popped into my head. And I was like, okay, that actually feels really good to me. It's a gorgeous day outside. It's only going to get hotter. I want to go right now. So I got myself, dressed, went on a bike ride, and halfway through, I started getting like some ideas about what to do about my business, action steps to take, who to call, and I was like, this is kind of cool. And then I passed by a cafe because I was like, I'm going to go get some coffee and then go home and work in the backyard. And I passed by this cafe that wasn't really quite at my house, and then I saw a sign for a park nearby. And I just felt this intuitive, like, go to the park, don't. And I was like, I stopped, I checked in. I was like, do I need to go home and force myself to do some work at home? Or should I go get coffee here, go to the park, maybe, do some work? Because I do have a smartphone. I am, completely capable of doing some research and whatever via the park. And that actually felt really good to me. It felt more enjoyable. And so I think sometimes I would have been like, no, must go home, must be in backyard with my computer, kind of like really hardcore about it. But today I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm going to try it this other way. So I went back and got whoa, another bug just like jumped on me. There's a lot of insects here in Oregon. It's summertime. I went and got a coffee and then came to the park and called my friend and had an amazing conversation with her where we talked about getting together to do this money consciousness workbook, and talked about, writing down our affirmations and our goals and getting this other part of my business up and going, and talked about my dream that I had today, and just got a lot of divine inspiration and felt connected and supported. And I'm sitting in this beautiful park. You can see behind me, there's tons of trees around, looking at this beautiful view. And I feel really good. I feel like I exercised. I feel like I got divine connection. And more than that, I felt like I wasn't pushing myself around. I wasn't forcing myself to do anything. I listened to myself. What would make me happy? What would be the most effective thing for me? And it feels really loving and really supportive. And I have some ideas of what to do with my day. I have some ideas of what to do with my business. I have some plans for this week and the coming months with a friend of mine that are really supportive to my spiritual growth and evolution. And I just feel better. I think if I'd stayed home and forced myself to do stuff, I would have ended up crying. I would have been very anxious. I would have felt really crappy. Maybe would have eaten more than I needed to. Would have felt bad, and maybe even later would have not been open to connect with people, maybe taken it out on my partner. Who knows what would have happened? Maybe nothing would have happened, but all I know is I'm sitting here, there's beautiful red-tailed hawks flying around over here that I rarely get to see, and those are like a huge sign from the universe for me. And it really came down to, am I going to listen to my intuition, or am I going to listen to my head, the inner critic? And I chose to listen to my intuition today, and I am very grateful for that. And so that is my advice and guidance, not really advice, but suggestion and helpful tip for you today is to really check in, like when you're going to do something. Like, is this really coming from my gut feeling, from like my soul, from like what it would really feel good to me? Or is this from me trying to force myself to do something? And just really kind of play with that. And it's, nothing's right or wrong. Don't beat yourself up over anything, because sometimes I do still do things and I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and it just gives me more information. Like, I actually don't feel so good and so happy when I do something out of my head rather than like, my heart and my soul and my body, my intuition. And so it really just gives you information so that you can feel the difference. So don't beat yourself up if you catch yourself acting from your head. Most people in this world do it. So that's why it takes practice, and it takes, just a lot of spaciousness and support and love from yourself to be able to do it. So many, many blessings to you, much love, and I'm just so glad I could share this with you. And everyone, I hope you have a beautiful day. Be kind and loving to yourself, and give yourself a big hug. Until next time, take care.